Have you ever wondered what it would feel like to stop working in your 40s while most people are still dragging themselves through traffic, answering emails, and counting down the years until retirement at 65 or even later? Picture this. You're 42, and instead of clocking in at some office or staring at a screen you don't care about, you're planning your next trip, spending your mornings however you want, maybe working a few hours a day on projects that actually excite you. Not because you need the money, but because you want to. Sounds unrealistic, right? But it's not. In fact, if you're in your 30s right now, you're standing at the exact crossroads that decide whether that kind of life becomes your reality or just a dream you scroll past on social media. Here's the truth. Retiring in your 40s isn't reserved for lottery winners or people who built billion-dollar startups. It's usually regular people who figured out how money really works earlier than everyone else and decided to act on that knowledge instead of waiting for permission. They didn't follow the traditional script. They realized their 30s were this rare sweet spot. Old enough to be financially mature, but still young enough to let time and compounding do the heavy lifting. Combine those two, time and maturity, and you have a formula that can completely reshape your future. So let's talk about how to use your 30s wisely, because this decade determines everything. The first and least glamorous truth is this: you have to master your spending. I know it sounds boring, but here's the thing. Every dollar you don't waste on things that don't matter is a dollar that starts working for you. Think of your money as little employees. Everyone you invest keeps working 24/7. No coffee breaks, no vacations, just pure compounding power. This is where most people in their 30s go wrong. They start earning more and immediately inflate their lifestyle. The bigger apartment, the new car, the nicer vacations. It feels deserved, and maybe it is. But ask yourself, do you want to look rich now or be free later? Because every unnecessary expense today pushes financial freedom further away. When you spend less, you don't just save more, you also need less to live on when you retire. Freedom comes faster to those who can live well without overspending. And if you really want to accelerate your path, you can even turn your free time into income, the kind that works while you sleep. In 2025, it's easier than ever to start something digital, like a faceless YouTube channel where you share knowledge, stories, or insights. The point is, there are endless ways to make your money grow faster if you stop living paycheck to paycheck by choice. Now, on the other side of the equation, you have income. You simply can't retire in your 40s on average earnings and average effort. Your 30s are when you need to get aggressive about growing what you make. You've built skills, experience, and maybe even a bit of a reputation by now. This is your moment to use it. Negotiate harder. Switch jobs if you're underpaid. Build side hustles. Every extra dollar you earn now has 10 or more years to compound. Imagine going from 60,000 to 100,000 in your 30s. That difference alone could shave years off your working life. But all that extra income means nothing if it goes straight into debt. So the next crucial step is eliminating it completely. Debt is a chain that keeps you tied to your job. Credit cards, car loans, personal loans. They quietly drain your future wealth. Every payment you make to a bank could have been money compounding for you. Even something as normal as a $500 car payment adds up to over $80,000 lost over a decade if you invested it instead. Mortgages are fine if they're reasonable, but high-interest debt has to go. Once you free yourself from payments, you can finally let your money start multiplying instead of disappearing. And that leads to the most powerful part of this entire plan: investing. Saving alone won't make you free. You can't save your way to wealth. You have to grow your money. That means turning yourself from a saver into an investor. The easiest and most effective way is through low-cost index funds, broad market investments that give you ownership in hundreds of companies and grow steadily over time. If you start investing seriously in your 30s, even modest monthly contributions can explode into life-changing amounts by your 40s. $2,000 a month at 7% growth becomes over $300,000 in a decade. Push it to $3,000 and you're past $500,000. And that's before raises, side hustles, or compounding momentum. But investing isn't just about numbers. It's about designing a life that doesn't require millions to maintain. The people who retire in their 40s aren't usually the ones living in giant houses or driving luxury cars. They're the ones who built simple, intentional lifestyles. They live in affordable cities. They focus on experiences, not possessions. They understand that freedom doesn't come from having more. It comes from needing less. When your fixed costs are low, your freedom becomes incredibly durable. And that brings us to one final truth. You have to automate everything. Because no matter how disciplined you think you are, willpower fades, life gets busy, temptations creep in, and one small, "I'll skip this month," can become a habit. Automation removes that weakness. When your savings and investments move automatically each month, you don't think about it. You don't give yourself a chance to hesitate. The system does the work, and your wealth quietly builds in the background. One day you look at your accounts and realize you've already built your freedom. Of course, some people will hear this and think, that sounds great, but I could never pull it off. And that's exactly why most people never do. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to start. Every little step, paying off one debt, cutting one expense, investing one paycheck, moves you closer to independence. It's not about massive leaps, it's about consistent motion. Retiring in your 40s isn't about luck. It's about choices. If you live like everyone else, you'll retire when everyone else does. Tired, stressed, and wishing you'd started sooner. But if you live differently in your 30s, you can buy back decades of your life. The question is simple. Do you want the temporary thrill of looking successful now, or the lifelong peace of being truly free later? You can't have both. Start today, and your 40s could look nothing like you imagine. Not filled with work deadlines, but with time. Time to travel, to be with your family, to build things you care about. Time to wake up when you want and live on your own terms. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about money. It's about freedom. The kind that lets you reclaim your life, your time, and your choices. So ask yourself, are you willing to do what it takes in your 30s to earn decades of freedom in your 40s? Or will you let those years slip away, one paycheck at a time? Just remember, I'm not a financial advisor. This video is for educational purposes only. Your results depend entirely on your own actions. But one thing's for sure, the earlier you start, the sooner you'll stop working for money, and the sooner money will start working for you. Thanks for watching InvestingFlix, where smart money learns smarter moves. Subscribe for more insights that grow your wealth.